to say to you that just hearing your story is just amazing, because you have a lot of people that would get in your position and they really wouldn't know what to do. But with you just persevered through everything, and now you're using your story to inspire others and motivate others. And I just want to say that I think that's a really good thing.
Dang, man. That was not me asking him to say that. I just want to be. Did I ask you that?
No, sir.
He said that straight up. So this is DeQuell Hester. DeQuell Hester played football for myself and Coach Burnett and the J-O-Man Patriots in 2017. I was out at the range today hitting balls, and I walked up and I didn't notice him at first, but he's still, that's hard to forget. So, we shook hands and hugged each other, and it was great to see him. So I thought this was a really good opportunity to show maybe from a young man and a young man's perspective how football has helped in his life, and kind of what has carried over into his life in the future. So, DeQuell, can you tell me what you think football does for young people moving into their lives?
Really, the biggest thing I can say, if to sum it all up, is it teaches you life lessons.
Yeah.
Because you have to be dependable. You have teammates depend on you. You have to be able to pretty much be, that student-athlete role is real. It's not athlete-student. Yeah. I've always been told this: you're not an athlete-student, you're a student-athlete. Yeah. So it teaches you about time management, just a lot of different things. It teaches you character, it builds character. Yeah. There's just many, I can go on and on.
100%.
Just pretty much, it prepares you for real life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Pretty much, that's pretty much sum it up.
And for me, I identify strongly in my life as a coach. I mean, I feel like that's my calling. I feel like that's something I take a lot of pride in. Is there anything that you can think of that a coach has said, maybe in passing, maybe yelling at you on the field, something like that you've taken with you in your life?
One of the biggest things, this is back at my older school, but my coach would always tell us, if you're on time, early is on time,
Yep.
on time is late, and late is unacceptable.
I like
That's
that.
just been something that stuck with me since that day, my first practice there, when he told us that, because I've always had a problem with being on time with stuff. I don't know what it is, but like I always, even if it's like at school, I procrastinate really, really bad. Like I have a bad habit of procrastination, and ever since he told me that, like it's just something like I plan better. I make sure if I have to be somewhere, I'm there 10, 15 minutes earlier than I need to be.
Yeah.
Like for example, when I started working here, he told me to be here. I think he said 6:30, and I got here earlier. I think I got here around 6:10,
Yeah.
just to make sure.
Yeah.
I got here before he was. So
Right.
that's just one thing that I've learned from coaches. And then another thing is just that things aren't always easy, and we can attest to that because my senior year, we didn't have the best record, but being out there with the guys and y'all just making sure we're always lifting each other up and making sure each other is okay, that's really good too.
I love that.
Yes, sir.
And I've always, for me, I try to take everything I can in football and turn it into a life lesson.
Yes, sir.
And now that you've got a job, right, you're moving into the real world.
Yes, sir.
For me, especially as a teacher, if I show up late to work, I get fired,
Yes,
right?
sir.
I mean, I've got people depending on me. I got kids that are in the classroom. I can't just not show up. And so I think that that's really important, something that you said that carries over, right? And you see that in your job now. You said you showed up early. I love that translates. So what's next for you in your future? Where are you at right now? And what are you trying to do in your future?
Like I told you a little bit earlier, I just got done my freshman year of college at Allen University, and I'm planning on transferring to Tennessee Chattanooga and trying to walk onto the football team there. I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but I'm a sports management major.
Okay.
So with that, I can do a lot. Coach,
Yeah.
or if I want to, I can go to grad school, and also like do whatever I need to do, because I don't know exactly what I have to do yet,
Right.
but I would need a couple more years of school if I want to become an agent. So I'm
Yeah.
really on the fence between which one I want to do. But
That's awesome,
pretty
man.
much what I-
So one thing that I've seen in my career so far, this is my 10th year coaching going into, and especially in high school, one thing that I've seen is a bunch of the guys that I coached in the past that are now coming back to their schools and starting to coach too.
Yes, sir.
And I've always thought, man, like we made such an impact on them that they just want to stay and they want to be a part and be around that, right? Coach Bolton went to JL Man,
Yes, sir.
played at JL Man.
Yes, sir.
He's a Patriot through and through, right?
Yes,
That I think epitomizes what sports can do and what the high school
It's a lifelong thing.
Yeah.
Because I've been around Patriots football honestly since, I want to say, even before middle school. Because
Yeah.
I had cousins that gone to Man, so it's just something I've been around since
Yeah.
I was young. And it's like you said, it's gonna always be there.
That's
I
awesome.
graduated there. I'm always gonna be around. I always will support the
Yeah.
team. That's something that will always be a part of it.
Yeah. And one thing that we love to do is have former Patriots come back to practice.
Yes, sir.
So if you want to come out to practice
Oh, yeah,
and,
sir.
and
That's
talk to the
definitely-
team,
that's
man, and
definitely
be around
something
it.
I would
DJ, he's been out there, he's been around. I think he's trying to do the same thing. He's trying to go to a junior college and play ball too. So, man, that's awesome. And get with us. And do you have anything else to say? Do you have any last things to say about life and football and just your future?
Well, I just want to say to you that just hearing your story is just amazing, because you have a lot of people that would get in your position and they really would say what to do. Just persevere through everything. And now use your story to inspire others and motivate others. And I just want to say that.
Dang, man. That was not me asking him to say that. I just wanted to. Did I ask you
No,
that?
sir.
He said that straight up. Hey, man, that's awesome. That's cool that that's organic. You know what I mean? You know that you'll see it where it's people say this and this, but man, to hear you say that's what this is about. That's what I do in my life now with coaching. So, man, one more time, I appreciate you, buddy. Thank you for everything. All right, so a couple things from today. Number one, I saw one of my former players working here. His name's Quell Hester. I started thinking about how golf relates to life and how life and golf are kind of intertwined, and the lessons that you learn in golf and in football are intertwined in life. And So as I started hitting balls, I started thinking about that. I started off poorly. I couldn't quite find my stroke, couldn't put it together. And later on, as the day went on, I started to figure some things out. And I kind of stuck with it, and I was frustrated at the beginning. But the more and more that I repped it and I went through it and I practiced it, the better and better I got. And so I really feel like I took a step forward today in my golf swing, and it made me think about football and life, right? There's tons of things in life that don't go our way, and we have the opportunity to let them bring us down. Certainly for me, when I got hit, I had the opportunity to kind of quit. I had the opportunity to sit on my couch and do nothing, but instead I chose to go back to school and find a passion that I cared about. And for me, that was football. I coached Little League football for a year, and it lit a fire in my heart for young people, and just for the sport and the competitiveness and the passion that I have for what football can do in people's lives. And so, we got to find that in life, and everybody's got to find that passion, or they can get lost, right? It's really easy to sit around and kind of, blame the world, but at the end of the day, you got to find what you're passionate about, and you got to stick to that, and it'll take you far in life and get you to where you want to go. So I did that today, and I stuck with it, and I kept going, and I kept going, and I finally figured it out. I felt it, that one swing. I felt what was different. And so for the rest of the day, I focused on that thing, and you'll see some of the swings. I mean, I was just striping the ball, and for me, the number one thing that I love to see that gets me excited about golf is when you see that ball kind of come forward and then shoot up in the air, just flying off the club, jumping off the club. And so I saw that a bunch of times today with my long irons. I saw it with my 5, I saw it with my 7, and so that was really exciting. And I can't wait to take it out onto the course. Worked on chipping again. That's something that I got to focus on, practicing and getting better at over and over and over again. So it was really good to see DeQuell and kind of see what he's doing in his life and going to college and doing great things. So I'm really excited for him and his future, and it makes me proud to know that we coach these young men and they go on to do great things. Obviously, there's other situations as well, but it's really exciting to see when these young men go on and do great things, and you feel like, man, I had a part in that. Obviously, some of them are just really good kids, and we didn't do much for them. They were just, their parents and their lives were, were great. But when you get a kid that you feel like, man, I really helped that kid, or I feel like I connected to him, and there's been a handful along the way where I feel like, man, I had a genuine positive impact in that young man's life, and I helped him turn his life around. So that's why we do what we do. So I love seeing kids out in the community, especially good kids like DeQuell. So back to golf.